It's August 11th, and I thought I would do a short video of the garden. And I see a hummingbird right there, and I know I'm not going to be able to get it on film. The little thing is so tiny. It was on the borage and so fast. Anyway, okay, so this garden is not perfect by any means, and I was kind of hesitant even if I wanted to do one, but I've decided to go ahead and do it. So I'm coming in from from the house, okay. Here's a crazy assortment of some borage with the blue flowers, a ground cherry, which actually does have some little pods on it looks like, some onions, and a cilantro that I let seed out just because plants that have that umbrella, like an umbrella flower pattern, they're great for attracting parasitic wasps. So it's just a little raised bed there. This is celery, and it seems to be doing pretty well. I moved it to a different spot so it wouldn't be as wet, and hopefully won't have as much slug. I had a lot of slug damage last year on my celery. Next to that is some lettuces, and then I'm going to plant some more lettuce in these two empty spaces later this morning. There's some dragon tongue bean. Here we go. Henry's friend gave us this seed. It looks really fun. I actually made some dilly beans with it. So they just finished fermenting yesterday. I haven't even had a chance to taste them. I just put them in the fridge. It's a busy day, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Then also in the palette garden, this is mostly, lettuces. Lettuce that's starting to bolt. Lettuce, radish, looks like more radishes. I kind of just tried to go lettuce and radishes in here. And behind that, up against the fence, is the mushroom bed, which the ivy is starting to take over, but I do have some, surprisingly, still getting some mushrooms coming up. There's one, and there's one over there. So, but it was very prolific in the spring when we had all that moisture. It was awesome. Okay, turning around, we have 3 round cow tanks. This has obviously a huge watermelon growing in it, and I did plant that. This other, I don't know what that is. I just let it grow. But I also have carrots in here for the winter, basically. And here's the watermelon. It's going good. There's another one over here. He's going really good. So excited about that. Oh, there's one. Oh, I didn't see this one before. This one just hanging here on the side of the. All right. Now these are small watermelons, so I gotta figure out when to harvest them. But that vine is doing amazing. I'll try to pan out a little bit. In the next tank, I have some kind of cucurbit. I don't know what that is. Squash growing in here that I did it's a volunteer. I just let it grow. But what I really planted in here was some beets. And here's a tomato. I don't want that growing now. And there's actually some dill coming up in here. Volunteer. Sorry, I'm not doing good with the camera today. Dill and beets. So I'm really happy about that because my cucumbers have just started coming on. So it'll be perfect timing for that. This is onions, and the walking onions. I have regular onions, walking onions, and I let some arugula go to seed. And looks like it's putting on pods. So it's very easy to save seed from the arugula. So I'll be doing that soon. All right, let's see. Let's just start on the east side and we'll go west. So then here's the potatoes. Potatoes are looking pretty sickly. He's got pretty heavy damage, insect damage. I haven't really dug into the bales yet to see what else is happening, but they kind of go in a zigzag here. Some of them, I'll continue. I also put some broccoli in here because I had some empty spaces. There are a couple, there's the plants at the other end of the potato patch are doing better. There's a lot of grass over here too. It's hard to tell. We'll get that in a minute. Looks like we have a bunch of starlings behind me. Okay, here I have carrots and some melons. These are like little cantaloupe type melons, musk melons. It's cute. Okay, these are little tiny ones. I planted like several different varieties. Here's a different one, different kind, melon. And the next one's same thing, carrots, and these are bigger. They've been here, cantaloupe. 1, 2, 3 of those. I'm sure there's more on the back. And then let's see. And then this looks really similar. I don't know. There's a lot of melons in here, so I'm excited about that. And so then this last cow tank, I guess you'd say, has carrots and watermelon, and there's a watermelon in there, and here's one that's pretty clear to see. And then I had to put some eggplants in here because I had like 8 eggplants, which is probably way overkill because we don't eat that much eggplant. And the rabbits just chew them right down to the ground. So then I went and bought some really late. Oh, there's a little one going. So I put some eggplant up in this container so that rabbits couldn't get to it. Okay, back over here to the east side of the garden. Potatoes. Okay. This was an experiment that kind of was good and bad. You can maybe see, this is an onion bed. It's a 4x8 bed. It's totally packed full of onions. And they said you could put your peppers in with your onions. Well, the onion stalks, they grew up straight first, and then now they're laying over. So they're some of the pepper plants are like totally covered, but they're still producing peppers. Here, this one looks like it's doing a little better. So these are jalapenos in this bed, but then I have other peppers in the beds next to that. So, and those beds had the beets. So it looked like the beets, it was a better idea to plant the peppers in amongst the beets. The beets came out earlier. Of course, there were still, oh no, this pepper plant is leaning, oh my gosh. It has so many peppers it fell over, I think. Oh, it broke off. Well, there you go. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna harvest these peppers today. But don't worry, I have many, I'll leave you here for now, many more peppers. I still have beets that are, like, that thing is super big. It's ridiculous. And I'm trying to get, there's a few more beets in here. Trying to get to them. I'm going to maybe put some in the root cellar today. Oh, these peppers are just doing amazing though. So that was good. I like the beets with the peppers. No onions and peppers. Okay. Lesson learned. I think the jalapenos are going to make it. Just probably wasn't as good as it should have been. So here, see, I do have a couple of potato plants that are doing pretty good here. The corn plant that fell over. So this is a corn patch, little bee on the corn with a triple stripe bumblebees. I think so the corn patch, it didn't fill out very good, but we'll get a couple of years. Not really get enough to harvest for storage, but maybe eventually I'll have a big enough patch for that. But this is good for now. Sweet potatoes, I did plant some sweet potatoes in the bales this year, and they're just really slow to go. So I'm not sure if that's going to be something I continue to do. Just keep trying. I love sweet potatoes. Then at the end of the corn patch is 4 different kinds of squash. And I'll be quite honest, I don't know. This one's obviously spaghetti squash, and there's about a couple dozen spaghetti squashes in there. Very prolific. So they haven't turned yellow yet, so I'm just, that one's getting yellow. So I'm just waiting for them. I think, yeah, there's another one. I don't know if you can see it back in there. A little, oh, on the other side there's one. Here's one. There's some, these might be the, I have a feeling these are the ones that you collect the seeds out of. They grow the seed polis seeds. And then I am drawing a blank on this, what this one's name is. But I love them. They're really great for making pumpkin pie. So they're doing well. At the end of the crazy onions and peppers / beets, I had this tire and I put some artichokes in there, you can see. But what happened was I also had a bunch of broccoli around it, and the broccoli totally took over. And there's some little ladybug in that artichoke. And they did not get any sun, so they are just really struggling. So that was totally my fault. But I just needed some place to put the broccoli, and that's what happened. Okay, now we have 3 rows of crucifers, cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and then other things too. So like there's some borage, dill here obviously, but it has just gone totally there's some celery, calendula. It's totally gotten out of hand. Oh, there's a little basil, chamomile. Yeah, I seem to be saying a lot. Kale, cabbage. There's the cauliflower. The broccoli, most of the broccoli's been harvested. Here's some, like we took off the main stalk, you know, and put up some little extra here. So we'll have to grab that because it looks like it's gonna flower out soon. But it was an amazing harvest of broccoli and cauliflower. There's a little bit more broccoli. Yep, I gotta get that out of here. So I'm really excited about that. And I actually have, there's another cauliflower. I have more broccoli to plant back out here for the fall. And I got to get these cabbage out of here too, like this one, big guy. Here's a pretty red one. Ah, so pretty. Okay, so after that, this is getting long. I gotta get going here. This are my blueberry raised beds, but the blueberries, they are struggling a little bit. I planted some new ones in. It looks like they're struggling too, but there was so much space. I had things to plant like this kale and this cabbage, so I shoved them in here too. And they're doing okay. It's a big clover, but it looks, some of the blueberries are struggling. Some I think are gonna make it though. That one's not doing so great. Maybe because that kale is taking over. I think it'll make a rebound. We'll see. Then on the other side of that, I have my pea fence, and I had so much trouble getting peas to grow, and I think I finally figured out what the deal was. I also have some lettuce and radishes planted in here, and some critter is actually picking out the peas and eating them. So I have this pea fence, but I have another pea fence, and the other pea fence. So I got these peas to grow. These are just pod peas, like snow peas kind of thing. And these are finally taken off. But in the other spot, I could tell one day that something had scratched in there and eaten the pea seed. Like I planted them, and they just ate the peas. So I'm going to do something about that. This is an eggplant. One of the eggplants, there's 3 of them, 2, 3. The rabbits ate down to the ground, and then they grew back. So I'm not sure if we're going to get any eggplants. They might take off. They're doing good. I mean, this is August, so another month. That one has a bloom. We'll see. We'll see about that. Here's the green beans. Bush beans. They have been super prolific, and looks like I need to totally pick them again. Now we're getting into tomato and peppers, which I can't believe I did this, but supposedly peppers and tomatoes don't like to grow together, but I put them together. And there's some basil, obviously some flowers, some yarrow starting, marigolds, nasturtiums. But what's really exciting here, so there's some red tomatoes. I have several varieties, those ultra early ones my friend Randy gave me, and so I've been getting tomatoes since August 1st. These are called Ida Gold. I know that one for sure. I think this one might be Laytall. Don't quote me on that. Some peppers, some alyssum. This one's called Santa. This is actually a Supermax. Oh, I gotta get in. This is actually a variety that they grow in Canada. Supermax, what is it? Sub-Arctic Max. Oh, look at the name tag. Sub-Arctic Max. And he's doing awesome. And then I have one more. Ida Gold. I'm not gonna remember the name of it. Laytall. Oh, Gem State. This might be Gem State. This was really low growing, but got some red ones. Oh, I need to pick tomatoes. Okay. Lots of calendula. I've been collecting these petals for the chickens. And see, I'm still getting peppers. Oh, a couple peppers there. Okay. So that's a mix. Obviously next to that is zucchini and patty pans. They're totally out of control. So much zucchini. I've just had to throw a bunch in the compost bin, but that's how it goes. Next is Amish paste tomatoes, a row of them, and they are doing really well, and some of these are getting like crazy big. That is like that's a huge paste tomato. Can't wait. Okay, trying to go faster. Then another row of Amish paste. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking, planting so much. Oh, and one of, they're starting to get red too. Looks like some of these are turning red. Okay, so I'm oh, and down here I have a green stripe. So that's kind of cool to see. A friend gave that to me. Where is it? It's very different. I thought it was this one. Here it is. So they're green when they're ready to eat. So they're still growing, but it's hard to get a good. Oh, I had a bigger one on here. Huh. Anyway, this plant's grown quite a bit too. Okay. Back to some flowers. Let me swipe over here real quick. Up on the hill here, more squash. This one's called Candy Roaster. And so it puts on this big banana-shaped melon. It's supposed to be really sweet, and it'll turn more kind of like an orange color when it's ready. It'll get twice as big as that. That's just like a baby one. So I'm really excited to try that. I've never had that before. Had a little trouble getting going, but we finally did. A Stella Blue, and then my Seminole Pumpkin is just like not having it this year. But that's okay, we got lots of other stuff. Another row of tomatoes. Here's a cherry tomato. A couple of called Grandma Mary's. You can tell they're shorter, much shorter, and they're paste type. Then I got a couple of beefsteak, and then I'll be honest, I got some other ones. I think the one on the very end is a Cougar Red, and I did not keep very good track of them. But more tomatoes. I have a lot of tomatoes. Then I have 6 different kinds of cucumbers. This one I know is a pickling cucumber. This one's an Armenian cucumber. It makes the really long skinny cucumbers. So that's kind of cool. I already got one. This is the melon cucumber. It's actually a melon, but you pick it early as a cucumber. It's a French melon. It's just not doing much. So I'm waiting for that to take off. Then I got like a sweet cucumber and marketer, I think this one's called. And then we got a couple bush cucumbers. And I really like them actually. Nice little bush. And then I got a broccoli that I need to harvest, it looks like. The asparagus bed with the strawberries in the middle, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to continue. Well, first of all, next year we'll be able to harvest the asparagus. It's really out of control. Stuff is super crazy, but I think I'm actually going to make a separate strawberry bed. I'm going to move it up into the front of the house, so that will just a dedicated strawberry bed. Here we go again. Look at these. Crookneck squash. These are like as big as a 2-liter bottle. ridiculous. I think this is actually a delicata, and then there's another delicata and crooknecks. I have a mix of, what happened was my first delicata seed didn't grow, so then I bought some other one, and I found a bush variety, and then I have a vining type. So I think I have like 4 different delicata, which is awesome. I love them. They're still kind of going along, so I think they have time. But way too much crookneck squash, you know. And then just got a couple things around the side here. Some Cinderella squash just for fun, and then a couple like Jacoby little pumpkins. Okay, this is already over 20 minutes, way longer than I want it to be, but that is the garden jungle this year. Really out of control. Struggling to keep up with everything, and I really need to do some more weeding. Here's the spot where there's a pea fence where, see, there's no peas here because this is where I planted them 4 times, and something just comes in here and is eating them. This is Malabar spinach. It's a type of green you can eat in the summertime, but it'll take off. It'll grow even more. You just pick the leaves off and eat them as lettuces, or like cooked greens if you like that. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tour.